nígbàkúgbà bàbá ni bàbá ń jẹ́ lọ́jọ́kọjọ́ nígbàkúgbà bàbá ni bàbá ń ṣe. We lead while others follow. We lead while others follow. Vicinity FM ọ̀gálàjẹ́ Adéọlá Noite ló ní ẹ̀ máa gbọ́. Mo fọwọ́ ẹ̀ sọ̀yà. We lead while others follow. Vicinity FM àwa ní bàbá. We lead while others follow. Àwa lọ̀gá àwa làgbà wọn lọ́jọ́kọjọ́. 95.3 Vicinity FM. Tọmọdé tàgbà darúgbó tómi dán ló sọ pa wá ní. We lead while others follow. We lead while others follow. Vicinity FM àwa ní bàbá. Vicinity 95.3 FM ìkejì ilé ọ̀tọ̀ nìkan láàrin òkúta ayàtọ̀ sí wọn jọ̀ọ́jọ̀ọ́.
Enjoy.
Of the morning to you. It's a beautiful day. Rise and shine. Yeah, it's Tuesday, the 29th day in the month of July. You know how we do it. It's your newspaper review where we bring you all of the top stories on our dailies and also the details of this headline. Still well to join us this morning on the show. I'm Funke OLUWAFUNKE Israel. It is Vicinity 95.3 FM on the YouTube of Ikejile, Ijesha, Osun State. How are you doing this morning? Yeah, it's another, thank God for another dawn, thank God for another day. We thank God that we are able to see, to witness the beginning of another day. May this day be fruitful for us and may this day be productive for us. AISHA Ibrahim, and good morning from this place, from Vicinity 95.2 FM, Ikejile, Ijesha. Do also join us on our Facebook and YouTube page at Vicinity 95.2 FM. It's your program, Newspaper Review. Yeah, this morning we'll be taking the top stories from the Punch newspaper, the Guardian, and Nigerian Tribune. And from my side here, I'll be taking the Nation newspaper, the news stories from the Vanguard newspaper, and the Press newspaper. Yeah, and I will begin with the Punch. On the front page of the Punch, 2027 APC kicks its opposition back single-day polls. FG launches crackdown on MDAs after 300% surge in interest claims. U.S. birth tourism crackdown sparks Nigerian hospitals reforms call. Tinubu governors splash 4.9 billion naira cash bonuses on Falcons. Electricity Act Amendment Bill (FG) Missile 11 discussed to new investors. NEC to enforce discuss recapitalization, reprivatization. Amendment Bill advances at NAS. Lassa fever death toll rises to 152 amid 811 cases. State versus discuss. New electricity law unleashes widespread crisis. GAC in turmoil as faction moves to sack Lagos APC chairman. Cheating Ondo girl napped for stabbing boyfriend to death. Nurses strike to hit hospitals nationwide on Wednesday.
Now, from the Nation newspaper this morning, the top stories. SDP disowns El-Rufai membership. ADC will collapse in 3 months, says Sheriff. Ekiti ex-governors Ayedatiwa endorsed Tinubu Oyebanji. More cash for states under new VAT distribution. President gives Falcons cash, houses, national award. How Tinubu has transformed healthcare delivery across North in 2 years. Only states can make laws on electricity, says Enugu Commission. Away from Nigeria, bet tourism, US threatens to deny Nigerians visa. Uwada's choice as APC chair timely, critical for party's consolidation. INEC implementing recommendations of international election observers, says Yakubu. Lassa fever kills 152 in Nigeria, says NCDC. And those are the top stories from the Nation newspaper this morning.
Now move to the Guardian. NMA threatens strike, rules exit of 30 doctors in Jigawa. SDP expels El-Rufai, bans him for 30 years. 4 trillion naira legacy debt threatens power sector stability. Adelabu wants port digital retail offerings. 85 trillion naira stock market potential. River State Independent Electoral Commission fixes August 30 for local government polls as group kicks. Cement firms profit up by 229% to affect stability as revenue hits 3.2 trillion naira. Tinubu honors Super Falcons with OON flat millions for WAFCON triumph. WHO declares hepatitis D cancerous, urges swift global action. Security forces kill 45 bandits in Niger, suffer casualties in Katsina. NPA records 141 attacks on journalists in 2 years.
All right, this brings me to Vanguard newspaper this morning. Electricity, Ekiti, Ondo, Edo, others. Plan tariff review in line with acts. Tinubu gifts each Falcons player $100,000, national honors and house. Over 130 security agents killed in ongoing Katsina anti-banditry war. Alausa unveils initiative to connect Nigerian expats at home diaspora. 2027 coalition about Nigeria, not me. Obi El-Rufai Amechi, said by Atiku. Our resilience saved Nigerian varsities from total collapse under Buhari, said by ASU. And those are the top stories from the Vanguard newspaper this morning.
Nigerian Tribune. First Bank retains top sport as Nigeria's best bank for ESG at 2025 Hero Money Awards. That's on business. River State Independent Electoral Commission fixes Rivers LG election for August 30 amid concerns of extension of emergency rule. Millipedes may be source of new drugs to treat human pain. Tinubu rewards Super Falcons with $100,000 each. National honors, houses, each technical team member to get $50,000. NGF gives $10 million to each player. INEC chairman, agitation for Yakubu's successor swells. On the riders, North Central should get slot MBF orders. Southeast, South deserves the position. Burning ex-MBA VP President's party appoints chairman Major Nigeria's paradox. Kohanete spokesperson. All INEC needs is a man with integrity, Professor Adeyemi. Zone of the next chairman, not too important, ex-KB speaker. Ekiti stands still as political heavyweight endorsed Tinubu Oyebanji for second term. Presidents, governors are good products, says Ayedatiwa Fayose. Police arrest housewife for faking own kidnap. Husband pays 3 million ransom. I want to use the money to recoup the 3.6 million naira loan spent on my wedding. Suspects.
And now from the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, attacks on journalists rising under current administration reports. Patients stranded as doctors in Lagos embark on strike. Our NSCDC officer was stabbed, died in Abuja. 2027 ANPP bloc insists on VP slot. Tinubu gives Super Falcons highest reward in 27 years. Kaduna residents lament as landlord increased rent by 150%. Military, DSS kill 45 terrorists in Niger border towns. Our bandits killed 38 villagers after collecting ransom in Zamfara. Those are the Daily Trust newspaper. Those are the top stories from the Daily Trust newspaper this morning.
Now, bring you the details of these headlines. On Nigerian Tribune 2027 ANPP bloc threatens exit, demands VP slot in APC power rotation. Ahead of the 2027 general election, the former All Nigerian People's Party NPP bloc in the ruling All Progressives Congress has given President Bola Tinubu some conditions to abide by, failure of which it threatens to exit the ruling party. The NPP bloc alleged marginalization by both the Congress for Progressives Change CPC bloc and APC bloc in the tripartite agreement that formed the national government in 2015. The NPP, which noted that CPC had ruled Nigeria for 8 years, with the APC currently in power, warned Tinubu against tampering with the vice presidential seat, insisting that the position remains sacrosanct for the ANPP bloc as the second largest contributor to the formation of APC.
Now, this brings me to the Nation newspaper this morning. Ekiti ex-governors Ayedatiwa endorsed Tinubu Oyebanji. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has secured the resounding backing of Ekiti State for re-election in 2027. In a powerless show of solidarity, Governor Biodun Oyebanji's ambition for a second term in office also received a ringing endorsement, affirming a united front. They received the seals of approval during a massive rally in Ado-Ekiti, the state capital, on Monday. It was attended by all previous governors of the states, including Adeniyi Adebayo, Ayodele Fayose, and Segun Oni, except the immediate past helmsman, Dr. Kayode Fayemi. All the former governors okayed President Tinubu and Oyebanji to continue in their positions.
7-day oral traditional rites to begin Ijebu Day on Wednesday. The chairman of Ijebu Day local government area of Ogun State, Dari Alebusi, has announced a 7-day traditional rites and curfew in the council area. These rites, which begin from Wednesday, 30th July, will run through to Tuesday, 5th August, might be connected with the passage of the late Awujale and paramount ruler of Ijebuland, Oba Dr. Sikiru Kayode Adetana. Oba Adetana, who reigned for 65 years, joined his ancestors at the age of 91 on 13th July and was buried the following day according to Islamic injunctions. The LG boss in a statement said there will be an oral curfew across the local government from 12 midnight to to 4 a.m. on the stated days. It therefore urged residents, especially non-indigenous, to stay indoors during the period.
Still from the Nation newspaper this morning, only states can make laws on electricity, says Enugu Commission. The Enugu State's Electricity Regulatory Commission, EERC, has declared that only states can make law to regulate electricity distribution. The agency stated this in its response to the public notice issued by National Electricity Regulatory Commission, NEC, questioning its power to slash tariff in its coverage area. The EERC slashed Band A customers' tariff from 209 kilowatts per kilowatt to 160 kilowatts effective from August 1.
Nigeria loses about 17.9 trillion naira annually to hepatitis FG. The federal government has raised concerns over the economic burden of viral hepatitis in Nigeria, estimating that the country loses between 13.3 trillion naira and 17.9 trillion naira annually due to the disease. The coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Mohammed Ali Pati, disclosed this while briefing the media to commemorate the 2025 World Hepatitis Day in Abuja. The World Hepatitis Day themed hepatitis, let's break it down, calls for collective actions to overcome the medical, structural, and social barriers that prevent millions of people from accessing care and treatments they need to manage and overcome the disease.
Still from the Nation newspaper, SDP disowns El-Rufai's membership. The former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai has been denounced by the Social Democratic Party SDP as its member. The party accused El-Rufai of falsely parading himself as its member when in actual fact he had not even registered in his ward. It also accused the former governor of forgery, manipulation, and attempting to destabilize the party through deceptive political maneuver. For his activities, the SDP slammed him with a 30-year ban from applying for its membership and involvement in any of its activities. For further reading, you can read it from the Nation newspaper with the headline SDP disowns El-Rufai's membership.
Insecurity NAF airstrikes kill ISWAP commanders, fighters in Borno. The Nigerian Air Force NAF has disclosed that the air component operating under Operation Aden-K in the northeast conducted precision air interdiction that neutralized several high-value Islamic State of West African provinces from commanders and fighters in Borno State. This was contained in a statement made available to defense correspondents in Abuja on Monday by the spokesperson of the service, Air Commodore Eime Ojodin.
Still from the Nation newspaper this morning, INEC implementing recommendations of international election observers, says Yakubu. Independent National Electoral Commission INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu said the Commission is implementing the recommendations of international election observation missions to improve future elections in the country. The INEC Chairman spoke at a meeting with members of the ECOWAS Network of Electoral Commission (ECONEC), who are in Nigeria for a follow-up on the implementation of recommendations by the ECOWAS Election Observation Mission (EOM) following the last general election. The team is led by Chairperson of the National Elections Commission (NEC) of Liberia, Mrs. Davidetta Brown Lansanas, who is also the head of the post-election mission to Nigeria. Yakubu held ECOWAS for partnering ECONEC in deploying follow-up missions to member countries led by chairperson of an electoral commission.
Now to Lagos and Ogun. According to this report, will experience 9-hour daily power outage for 25 days. The residents of Lagos State and part of Ogun State are set to experience daily power outages for 25 days as the Transmission Company of Nigeria begins critical maintenance work on its infrastructure. The Association of Nigeria Electricity Distribution confirmed that the planned outage, which will last from Monday, July 28 to Thursday, August 21st is necessary to allow for the upgrade of TCN's 330 kV transmission line. According to the association, electricity supply will be disrupted daily from 8 a.m.
The Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention (NCDC) has reported a total of 152 deaths from Lassa fever in the first 28 weeks of this year. This marks a higher case fatality rate of 18.7% compared to 17.3% within the same period in 2024. The latest situation report released on Monday in Abuja by the NCDC via its official website said the nation has recorded 811 confirmed cases and over 6,520 suspected infections so far. The Public Health Agency explained that these span 21 states and 105 local government areas, with the highest burden concentrated in Ondo, Bauchi, Edo, Taraba, and Ebonyi states.
This brings me to the Punch this morning. And still on electricity. Electricity Act Amendment Bill FG may sell 11 discos to new investors. The federal government may sell the 11 power distribution companies through a re-privatization process if the Electricity Act Bill of 2025 currently before the National Assembly becomes law. The National Assembly has already initiated a legislative process to enforce sweeping reforms that could see core investors in electricity distribution companies lose their stakes if they fail to improve their investment. The amendment bill, sponsored by Senator AISHA IBRAHIM, Abia South, seeks to overhaul the 2023 Electricity Act by addressing regulatory gaps, as it warned that investors risk losing their stakes through shared dilution, receivership, or outright privatization if fresh capital is not injected into the sector within 12 months following years of poor performance and a worsening debt crisis.
Now, this brings me to Daily Trust newspaper. Patients stranded at doctors in Lagos embark on strike. Healthcare services were paralyzed across Lagos State on Monday as doctors under Medical Guild commenced a 3-day warning strike over salary-related grievance. The guild, representing doctors employed by state government, accused the government of illegal and disrespectful deduction from their July salaries and the non-payment of 12-month arrears owed to honorary consultants under the Consolidated Medical Salary Structure (COMES). In a post on its official X handle, the association instructed its members to withdraw from all medical duties for the duration of the strike, warning of sanctions for non-compliance. A visit by the Daily Trust to the Lagos State University Teaching Hospital last month revealed empty wards with red ribbons indicating restricted access.
Still on the Punch. 2027 APC kicks as opposition backs single-day poll. A major political storm is brewing over a fresh proposal to amend the 1999 Constitution to allow all elections in Nigeria to be conducted on the same day in 2027. While leading opposition parties, the People's Democratic Party, Labour Party, African Democratic Congress, and New Nigeria's People's Party have thrown their weight behind the move. The ruling All Progressives Congress has rejected it, warning of their consequences. The proposal, spearheaded by the House of Representatives Committee on Constitutional Review, chaired by Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kalu, is being considered as part of broader constitutional amendments following zonal consultation across the 6 geopolitical zones.
Still from the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, Kaduna residents lament as landlords increase rent by 150%. Many residents have decried a surge in house rent in Kaduna metropolis, appealing to Governor Ubasani to intervene as annual rent soared by over 150%. In a separate interview with Premium Times, Residents from various parts of the city said landlords were arbitrarily increasing rent, with some tripling rates within a year, leaving many families distressed and unable to cope. From one of the interviewees, Mubarak Aliyu said, "We are not against landlords adjusting rents, but tripling it in a single year is unjust. There should be laws to regulate tenancy. This kind of exploitation is unacceptable."
Now, state versus discuss Tinubu's electricity law and unleashes widespread crisis. President Bola Tinubu's signing of Electricity Act into law in 2023, while the purpose was for decentralized power by removing it from the exclusive legislative list. This was also intended to give subnational entities the power to generate, transmit, and distribute electricity. The state would also have the authority to regulate their electricity markets, granting licenses to power generators, distributors, and others in the value chain within their jurisdiction. Aside from decentralization, the Act also introduced amendments to existing laws governing the Nigerian electricity supply industry.
Away from Nigeria, killings of Nigerians in South Africa countries unabated. The killings of Nigerians in South Africa have continued unabated, with the recent shooting of two Nigerian businessmen by gunmen. The two Nigerians, identified simply as Austin and Ayo, were shot dead by unidentified gunmen in Durban, South Africa in July 9. It was gathered that the gunmen, numbering 3, stormed Austin's office around 8 p.m. and upon gaining entry into the office, the gunmen, who were said to be wearing masks, met both of them and shot them on the spot. And that's the story from the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. For further reading, you can read from the Daily Trust newspaper with the headline, "Killings of Nigerians in South Africa continues unabated."
FG launches crackdown MDAs after 300% surge in imprest claims. The federal government has launched a clampdown on the rising use of imprest and cash advances after fresh data revealed that over 2.27 billion naira was disbursed under these two expenditure categories in 2024 alone. This figure is a more than 308% increase from the 556.3 million recorded in 2023. Imprest refers to a fixed amount of money issued to public officers to cover routine operational expenses, usually reimbursed quarterly, while cash advance denotes funds granted for specific administrative purposes or special projects, both of which must be retired with proper documentation in line with financial regulations. The spending shows that a public financing monitoring platform operated by Budgets said 1.1 billion was released for imprest and another. There are concerns that the circular cited widespread abuse, failure to retire funds, and duplication of payments across MDAs as justification for the fiscal crackdown.
Now, this brings me to Vanguard newspaper this morning. 2027, we expect more governors in APC soon, said by Sule. The last may not have been heard about the gale of defection into the All Progressive Congress (APC), as Nasarawa State Governor Abdullahi Sule has hinted at the imminent defection of more political heavyweights to the ruling party. The governor, who disclosed this in an interview on Channels Television Sunday Politics on the night, also dismissed claims of intimidation and witch hunt leveled against the party. His remarks comes in the wake of a major opposition coalition meeting held on July 2 at the Yaradua Center in Abuja, which saw leaders of various political blocs adopt African Democratic Congress (ADC) as a unified platform to challenge the APC in the next presidential election. According to him, APC is actively strategizing ahead of the 2027 general election in response to the emergence of coalition formed by opposition leaders.
Tinubu Tinubu within right to drop Shetima or not in 2027, says Mudu Sharif. The former governor of Borno State, Ali Mudu Sharif, has stated that President Bola Tinubu is entitled to the right to either retain Vice President Kashim Shetima or select a different person as his running mate for the 2027 presidential elections. While speaking on this event as a guest on channels, Sharif noted that Tinubu has the right to determine his running mate in 2027.
Still from the Vanguard newspaper this morning, Tom to Osun governor, don't abandon governance for politics. A group, the Osun Mastermind, Tom, yesterday urged Governor Ademola Adeleke of Osun State not to abandon governance because of politics, stressing that governance must continue till last day of the administration in office. The executive director of Tom, Professor Wasiu Oyedokun Ali, who spoke at its monthly State of the State's address in Osogbo, also lamented the crippling of governance at the local government council across the states. While acknowledging that 2026 is an election year in the state, Tom insisted that government functionaries must be preoccupied with discharge of public responsibilities without compromise. For further reading, you can see it on the Vanguard newspaper with headline, Tom to Osun Governor, don't abandon governance for politics.
This brings me to the story on The Guardian. NMA threatens strike rules exit of 30 doctors in Jigawa. Nigerian Medical Association, NMA, has raised the alarm over the growing exodus of medical doctors from Jigawa State, blaming the trend on poor remuneration and the state government's failure to implement promised salary adjustment. It's warned that unless the government comprehensively addresses the 19-point demand within 21 days from July 27, doctors across Nigeria would embark on an indefinite strike. However, the Lagos state government called on the medical guild to suspend its planned 3-day warning strike, assuring doctors that the concerns they raised were being addressed. Speaking at a news conference yesterday in Duse, Jigawa, Chairman of NMA, Dr. Usman Aruna, disclosed that 30 doctors left the state service since February 2025.
Still from the Vanguard newspaper this morning, AISHA IBRAHIM family killed Daura for Kaduna home. Immediate past First Lady and wife of former President Muhammad Buhari, AISHA IBRAHIM, and members of her family have relocated from Daura in Katsina State to the former president residence in Kaduna State. The new residence, located at Ogwon Rimi GRA in Kaduna, was where the former president lived before leaving Nigeria for medical treatment in London during his presidency. It was gathered that AISHA IBRAHIM and her family members arrived in Kaduna on Sunday through the Nigerian Air Force Base. They were reportedly received by the delegations led by the Deputy Governor of Kaduna State, Dr. Adisa Balarabe, and the major leader of the Kaduna State House of Assembly, Munira Tamino.
Osun 2026, Adeleke doesn't need FG support to win election, says PDP chieftain. A chieftain of the ruling People's Democratic Party in Osun State, Ibukun Fadipe, has said that President Bola Tinubu begged before the state governor Ademola Adeleke endorsed his 2027 re-election bid. Fadipe, however, disclosed that the governor accepted to support the president after he stressed the need for Tinubu to refund to Osun State the amount his administration has spent on constructing federal roads in the state, build all the deplorable federal roads in the state, and embarked on other projects that will improve the status of Osun. He said the government doesn't need any support from the federal government before winning the 2026 governorship election in the state because he has performed exceedingly.
Still from the Vanguard newspaper this morning, girlfriend stabs boyfriend to death over alleged infidelity in Ondo. A lady, Augustina Mowari, has reportedly stabbed her boyfriend, Michael Ikudowoni, to death after alleged infidelity in Okitipupa local government area of Ondo State. Sources close to lovers said they have been living together in a one-room apartment for years. The source explained that they started having issues following alleged double dating with another lady by the victim. According to the source, and I quote, they started having issues over the trust and alleged cheating by the victim, and degenerated into altercation. The misunderstanding over cheating and lack of trust degenerated into a violent altercation between the lovers.
This brings me to WHO declaring hepatitis B a cancerous and calls for swift action, global swift action. World Health Organization has issued a strong appeal to governments and health partners to accelerate efforts to eliminate viral hepatitis following the reclassification of hepatitis D as carcinogenic to humans. The appeal comes as the world commemorates World Hepatitis Day. The International Agency for Research on Cancer, a specialized agency of WHO, had recently confirmed that hepatitis D, an infection that only occurs in individuals already infected with hepatitis B, poses a 2 to 6-fold higher risk of liver cancer compared to hepatitis B alone. The agency placed hepatitis D in the same cancer-causing category as hepatitis C and B. That's quite a revelation there. I hope you got it.
Still from the Vanguard newspaper this morning, 2027 coalition about Nigeria, not me, Obi El-Rufai Amechi, said by Atiku. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has said that the emerging opposition coalition led by the African Democratic Congress (ADC) is not centered on individual political gladiators like himself, Peter Obi, Rotimi Amechi, or Nasir El-Rufai, but on rescuing Nigeria's democracy from what he described as the ruling party's creeping authoritarianism and manipulation of the electoral process. The media has been awash with speculations of looming battle for the coalition's 2027 presidential ticket among the political figures. Atiku made the remarks through his media advisor Mazi Paul Ibe in an exclusive interview with Vanguard in Abuja on Monday. He stressed that the coalition's central goal is to protect the integrity of Nigeria's democracy, which he said is under threat from the All Progressive Congress (APC) administration. And those are the stories from the Vanguard newspaper this morning.
The National Working Committee of the SDP, Social Democratic Party's banned former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai from the membership of the party for a period of 30 years. This was disclosed in a statement issued on Monday by the party's National Publicity Secretary, Rufus Araba Ayinigba, in Abuja. The conflict had earlier ensued between the party's national leadership and the Kaduna chapter, which affirmed El-Rufai as a registered member. The party's Northwest Zonal Secretary, Inuwa Aegis, at a press conference in Kaduna, had disowned El-Rufai. This is how we get to wrap it up on Newspaper Review this morning, where we bring you all of the trending stories on our dailies today in the country. Thank you for joining us on Vicinity 95.3 FM. Do well to catch us tomorrow, same time, same station, from 7:30 to 8:15, where we bring you all of the trending stories. Thank you. I am OLUWAFUNKE Israel. Do have yourself a great day. Our producer is Muji Bolakumi.
Yeah, thank you for joining us on the newspaper review this morning. And it's another day, and remember, action is the foundation key to all success. So let's try to lay our hands on something, act on something, so that you get a positive result. Do have a great day. I am AISHA IBRAHIM. Stay safe.
Just got excited.
Let's go.
This is Vicinity FM 95.3.
Are you a business owner looking to grow your brand or launch your hustle for enhanced value? Vicinity 95.3